Hi, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another round of Coffee and Questions. Saturday, the day off, finally, I thought I'd do a few videos, or at least a couple of them, if I can, eke them in throughout my day. But one of the ones I wanted to talk about is this Hallmaster 10-inch pneumatic tire with hub. Is it a good bargain? Yes, it is. Now, most of you know, if you watch my videos, I use a different kind of a caster on dollies and on the things that I make out in the shop, because I've got limited space and everything's got to be on wheels for me be able to pull it out and do different things and put them back in. And I use the poly wheels that they have out at Harbor Freight, but I use the more expensive ones because they're still a good bargain. They're cheaper than a lot of other places and they work really well. This is a good bargain too. I mean, if you take a look at this, normally $6. Now they're on sale for $4. What do I use these for? Well, like a lot of people, I've used them for two different reasons. I use them on an oxyacetylene welding cart that I have. And lately I sold one of them, gave one of them to Justin. I have another one and I'm going to put these wheels on it also. And we'll talk about how I did that and what I do about that in a little bit. But you can use them on gardening equipment, wagons, and all different kinds of things. And so you got up here, you have this 4.5-star rating. Okay, now let me show you something about the ratings. Okay, so I put it up here on top and it's got a 94% rating, 5 stars. I mean, you can see here, there's tons of people that wrote good 5-star ratings and 4 stars. You combine those two together and you go, okay, well, there's still some people that are dissatisfied. But there will always be people that are dissatisfied. Now, I've used these. I think they work good. If you consider you're getting the tire, the rim, the stem, I mean, everything, the tube, all that is one unit for $4. That's a good deal. And somebody made the comment on one of the negatives. It's like, hey, look, it only lasts a couple of seasons because the tires, if it's outside, like in a lot of heat and the elements, they tend not to be real high quality wheels and they kind of start to deteriorate. And they went on and on and on and on. And I'm sitting there thinking, who cares? I mean, look, I can go out and buy a brand new tire setup, just like what you see here in the picture, for $4. If it lasts me 2 seasons and I have to replace it, who cares? Now, in the welding cart and stuff like that I was telling you about that I keep in the garage, they've lasted me more than that. And they were still on there when I sold them. And they're still holding up fine. And I know it says here, in the picture, compare to farm and ranch, and they give you a product number at, $8.09. A lot of times I don't pay attention to that compare thing because sometimes they're comparing it to a product that is way, way better in quality. I think they're just thinking about pricing, meaning it's half of that if you buy it from them out at Harbor Freight. But this is something I consider a good product. I would buy it and have bought it over and over. But let's jump over. Let's do questions and answers. I won't make it a long video. I'm just letting you know that right now it's for sale. The other option is, of course, they're running a current 25% off coupon. I mean, you could always take your phone, take a photograph of the coupon and use it when it's not on sale. But right now for $4, it's a good deal. I'm going to pick up a couple of them this weekend when we do our little bargain hunting, provided we stop there. But anyway, questions and answers. Let's go ahead and start. Why do I think it's such a good deal? The price. Can you tell me anything about the dimensions of it? Well, the axle itself that you're going to need has to be 5/8. Now, what I've used in the past is either a 5/8 inch rod or I've used 5/8 all thread. Now what you can do, and that will become like, let's call it your axle or your shaft. And then, like another reader had made the comment, you buy 4 washers, you buy 4 nuts, and you get yourself 4 1/8 inch or thereabouts cotter pins. Then you can go ahead and you can assemble, this entire axle shaft yourself. The cotter pins, of course, after you line everything up. Maybe we'll do a separate video on how I actually walk through and do that the next time I do it. But use the cotter pins and it secures it in there and boom, you're done. So, just lay it out on a piece of paper, just draw the rod and you can see where those nuts would be put on there. Or there might be another YouTube video with somebody showing you how to do this. It's not that hard to do. And once you do this, the cool part about this is You simply take out the cotter pin, undo the nut, slide the wheel off, put a new one on for $4, right? And boom, there you go. So that's like just a quick tip on how I do it. There's a multitude of ways. I mean, you can use these wheels and put them on. And somebody in one of the remarks gave it a thumbs down and criticized the heck out of it because Harbor Freight doesn't offer them, I guess, in 1/2 inch, that axle. Well, I mean, look, it is what it is. I mean, if you can change it over to 5/8, change your shaft over, your axle shaft over to 5/8. My point being, it's just real quick and easy. If these wear out in 2-3 years, undo it, slide it off, slide a new one on, because if they're running anywhere close to this price, it's a lot easier just to put on, new wheels. Or you can spend, probably right around the same or more and buy a new tube and tear the one you have apart and replace the tube. The choice is yours, but let's go ahead and move on. Yeah, I agree. Somebody made the comment, well, the other reason for buying these is I don't want to spend $15 to $20, per tire for really good ones when I can just use average or a little below average ones and they will last me and do me the same job. But yeah, I agree with you. That's the reason why I buy them too. And it's like I keep saying, it's cheap enough to replace them when you need to. Okay, somebody disagrees. You should buy the higher quality. I mean, blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. If you want to spend 8 times more, go to a Lowe's or go to Home Depot. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying this is the route that I chose, and I'd rather go this route, keep money in my pocket, or keep the money to buy other tools. But look, you want to spend that much more. I can guarantee you. I looked at the ones that were out at my Home Depot. And I would swear they're almost identical to these at Harbor Freight. They just happen to cost you enormously amount more. Do I have any tips on buying them? Yeah. There's one tip a reader wrote, and I agree with him because I did it and I didn't even think about it till I read the comment. When you're out there, make sure that it has air in them. Now, a Harbor Freight employee, for what it was worth on one of the forums, said that they ship and they come in with 15 psi already, pumped into these tires. And I was like, oh, okay. And so go over and feel them, pinch them hard, play around with them, make sure they're still holding air. If they're not and they're flat, don't buy it because it probably has a leak somewhere or there's something that's just quite not right. Why did it lose that 15 pounds of air that it shipped with? So, if you got it home and you filled it with air and you found out, hey, it's leaking, yeah, you can take it back. And I don't want to go through all the hassle of running back and forth to Harbor Freight to exchange stuff. They're friendly enough there. They're courteous enough to where they exchange things rapidly, but I just don't want to go through the trouble. So this is just a quick tip. I mean, just, it is what it is. So just try it out and make sure it's got air in it before you buy them. That's just a tip, I guess. Somebody made the remark, they don't think it's all that great of a deal. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll challenge you. Put it in the comment below. You don't think it is, I do. So here's the challenge. Find a tire like this somewhere on the web, anywhere. Put it in the comment below where you can get it at this price. You're getting the tire, the stem, you're getting the bearings, of course, that are in there. They may not be top grade, but they're still decent bearings. And, you're getting a complete tire, rim, bearing, stem, everything. So drop it in the comment below if you feel I'm wrong. Show me. I'm more than happy to admit it, but I think it's a great value for the price. Okay, when I'm at home in the shop, I don't know. I don't want to tell you what to do. I fill mine up to 30 psi. I have a compressor in the garage. I have a tire gauge. 30 is what I put it at. I suppose you could put more in it if you want to, or less, depending on what your application is, but I put 30 in all of mine to start off with. I don't think I've really ever changed any of them. The welding cart that I made, and I put these on there, it's 30 psi. I also did like a little cart for, pulling steel and stuff around, and I think all I put in it was 30 psi. Also, there's another reader that says that's what he puts in his. So I guess it's good to know. Yeah, 30 is what I go with to start, then adjust it. Okay, I know this is, there wasn't a lot of questions or anything on this. Let me take one more look and then we'll probably conclude this. It was just meant to be your quick tip of the day going in and through this weekend. I know that they're still on sale because I got a flyer that said they were, and you can always take a picture of this. Let me pull my picture off of here. You can show them this ad and they'll honor it. Hang on just a sec. Okay, somebody made a comment on there is that they gave it a thumbs down because they said the bearings were put in at an angle. I didn't notice that on mine. Just take a little bit more time when you're out there looking and make sure that everything looks straight and in alignment like it should be, and check the tire pressure thing like I told you, the little trick. I don't know what to say about it. I mean, sorry you had bad luck, but, I've had good luck with them. Another comment, thumbs down. I mean, the rubber didn't last 2 seasons. Yeah, but for the price, I mean, I'll just replace them. I understand what you're saying, but for $4, what do you want? I mean, really, okay? They're very doable, very workable. I mean, you want something real high grade, you're going to pay more money. So, I mean, for me, rolling around in concrete, in my workshop and stuff like that, these are fine. If you're doing something a lot more rugged, maybe this isn't the wheel for you to buy for that, that particular application. Somebody made the comment they've had theirs for almost just like, not less than a year, and it's leaking, okay? And I don't want to go out and spend the money on the tube. What do I suggest? Well, fill it with Neverleak or slime or something, and, maybe it'll seal it up and you don't have to worry about it, and it'll last you another couple of seasons. I mean, that's just a quick thought. Anybody else got a suggestion, drop it below. But if you've got a minor leak and it's coming from that tube, that's what I would do. I would just add some of that stuff to it, swirl it around, pump it back up full of air, you probably no more problem. Okay, somebody made the comment about the durability of the rubber, on the tire, that it's just not that thick. Okay, this is an industrial or agricultural product. If that's what you're looking for, you should go to Northern Tool, McMaster-Carr, or something like that. And you can, of course, you're going to pay for it, but you'll get a much higher quality, tire. This works good for the application that I'm describing, which is just, in your shop. One of the readers said, well, what can I do if I buy them and it continues to leak and the Neverleak stuff doesn't work? It just depends on how bad the leak is. I know that you shouldn't have to, but you could always buy a tube from Lowe's or Home Depot and put a tube in there, and that would solve your problem also. But like I said, I know you shouldn't have to do that, but it is a solution to the problem. Now, somebody else wrote an interesting comment. I've never thought about doing this, and it says, to fix your leak problem, take out the valve stem center and fill the whole thing with expansion foam insulation, from one of those cans you get out of, Home Depot and Lowe's. That solves your problem, period. And then when it's worn out, you can just replace the entire tire. Now, I never thought of that, and that probably is a good idea. I mean, if you need to go that route. Okay, so the other negative that people wrote about, seems to be a bunch of times, was the leaking. So to fix the leaking, you can use slime, Neverleak, something like that. Maybe that isn't going to work. Put a tube in it. Shouldn't have to, but it will fix your problem. Or take the valve stem out, fill it with, that expanding foam. Comes in a can with a long tip nozzle. You can get it out at Home Depot or Lowe's. Those are quick solutions to those kind of problems. Now, I haven't had those problems, but this is the things that I'm reading in the comments and so forth. So I would buy them again. I'm going to go ahead and conclude the video. I didn't see. I'll take one more glance. Let me take a quick look. I don't think there's any more remarks, but let me look. Okay, so somebody also made the comment in here that, hey, these rims probably will not run true. I don't care for what I'm using it for, to be honest with you, for carts and welding carts and dollies and stuff like that. I don't really care. It doesn't affect me. If it affects you, again, you're going to pay a lot more than $4. So just think about it, I guess, if it's going to bother you or not. Doesn't bother me. Okay, there's a comment. Somebody said, yeah, look, they don't hold up well out in the weather. That's all there is to it. I agree with you. So don't leave it out in the weather, or you're going to buy a higher quality setup. Like I said before earlier, it works for me. I don't keep it out in the weather. Most of my dollies, the welding carts, all these things that I have used them on, which are just those things, it's held up fine, but I don't leave them out in the sunlight, in the heat, or in the elements. I mean, they're in a garage or a workshop. So it's whatever works for you, or you pay more to get the better quality. But these serve my purpose, and I like the cost savings. Again, lots of comments on leaking, but we already discussed that. The one thing I haven't tried, I probably will try next time, is literally fill it with foam. Not something I've ever thought about doing, but maybe there's a YouTube video out there on it or something. I guess, you could try it. If not, put a tube in it. All right, so these are same questions over and over and over, but that is my take. and, you know, my discussion on this. I'm the Home Handyman. I hope you click subscribe. Drop me a comment below. Let me know if you own them, if you purchase them, and, you know, how your luck's been with them, or if you have something better, let me know. Drop it below. I'll talk to you folks on the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.